Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel, and in this video we are going to install Arch Linux on a PC. Alright, so first of all I'm gonna show you in 3 ways how you can create a USB stick. One in Mac OS X, the other one in Linux, and the last one, the easiest one, in Windows. So that you don't have to worry, oh, I am in another operating system, what should I do? Just follow the instructions, and with your specific operating system you will be good to go. So the first thing you want to do is to go ahead and download the Arch Linux by clicking here right top on download. That will bring you to the download session. Scroll to your country and click on the mirror. Now let's choose aggregate.org, which will bring you to this page here. This is the latest version of Arch Linux. If you go to the parent directory, you will see all the versions of Arch, which I really like. In case you need an older version, you can always go there. Alright, in our case, let's take the latest version and let's download the ISO, which is 627 megabytes, and let's put the file on the desktop. Alright, just click on save. Okay, meanwhile, while it is downloading, we're gonna go ahead and download Balena Etcher, which is the utility to create the Arch Linux installation USB disk. So download the Mac OS version and save that also on your desktop. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and install that. So let's double click on Balena Etcher. Drag and drop the icon into applications. Just double click on it. Now this one window we can close. It will open up Balena Etcher. Just click on open. And that works just fine. Okay, so now let's create a USB disk. Let's put Balena right here. The ISO is almost finished downloading. Yep, let's put that aside also right here. And let's go ahead and let's create the disk. So insert your USB disk. And let's go ahead and let's create it. Options, search, and type in disk utility. Search your USB disk. Should be somewhere here, right there, SanDisk in my case, and click on erase. Of course, all the procedures will erase the data on your USB disk and also on your SSD or hard drives, so be sure to make backups. Needless to say that you always have to make backups, just in case of an emergency. You can always get back to your old files. Alright, so let's create a disk. Let's call it USB stick, and we choose FAT partition, and let's choose master boot record and erase. Alright, that's done. So now we can create the disk by double clicking Balena Etcher, double click the icon, and then we're gonna go ahead and open it up. Okay, and so select the image. In our case it will be the ISO which we downloaded. Click on open and click the flash button. Enter the password, click OK. So that will create the Arch Linux disk in Mac OS X. The other way will be the Linux way, and the last edition will be the Windows edition, the Windows way. And in Windows we will use a program called Rufus, which is the famous disk creation program. If you have a Windows machine, go ahead and make the disk. I will show you how to do that. But first, after this, we're gonna do the Linux way. Supposingly that you already have a Linux distribution, and otherwise don't worry, just follow the instructions, you will be good to go. Alright, let's click on ignore. Just bear with me 1 second and I will boot into Linux. We'll continue the procedure of Linux. Alright guys, so here we are in the Linux environment. If you want to create a USB disk from Linux, go ahead and go to the Arch Linux website and click on download. That will bring you to this screen right here, and if you scroll down you can go ahead and select your location. From there you can then download the ISO file. Let me just search it. You'll take the aggregate.org website, and from there if you click on it, it will give you this screen here, and here we have the ISO. Just click on it. This ISO is 627 megabytes. Go ahead and download that in downloads. Okay, meanwhile, while it is downloading, I'm gonna go ahead and download the Balena Etcher tool, which will allow us to create the USB stick with the ISO file. So we'll click on that and we'll download that into the same download directory. There we go. And once it's downloaded, we want to go ahead and check the download directory, and we want to extract it. Open up with Arc and then extract it right here. There you go. So let's see if our ISO is now also downloaded. Perfect. Now we go to our Balena Etcher program. Gonna click it. So it will bring you this screen here. Now insert your USB stick. Okay, go to your partition manager. We use the KD partition manager tool. You can also use the tool which is called disks, which will bring up a similar screen. Alright, so we want to format our USB disk or erase it. Just delete the partition. There you go. Make a new partition. FAT32. Let's call it USB stick. Okay. And there we are. So now if we go to Balena Etcher tool, where was it? In downloads. This one here, and close this window. Yeah. So what we need to do is to go ahead and select the image. Go to downloads. Here we got our ISO file. Click open and then choose your USB stick, which is this one here. Click on OK and flash it. Enter your password. That will flash the USB stick. and flash complete. So, and that is basically how you create the USB stick in Linux. There we have our disk. Alright, so now we switch over to Windows, and let me show you how to do that, how to create your USB, your Arch Linux USB stick in Windows. Okay, so if you have Windows and you want to create the USB stick, then from here I will show you how to do that. It's very easy. Just go to the Rufus bootable USB drive website and go ahead and download the Rufus tool, save it onto your desktop. Alright, next go to your Arch Linux website and then click on the right top on download. It will bring you this screen. Scroll down to your country and download ISO. Let's see here, if we can go to aggregate.org. This one is the latest version. This website got all the versions available. Latest one is from October 2019. And let's take this one, is 627 megabytes. Okay, let's go ahead and let's save that also on the desktop. Alright, meanwhile, while it's downloading, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare the USB stick. So let's insert the disk. And let me just check what's on the disk. Nothing, that's great. We're gonna go ahead and format it, and let's call it USB stick. Yes. All right. Okay, now let's see how far it is. It's almost done. Depending on your internet speed, the ISO download will take a few moments. All right, it's done. Now we go to our Rufus tool, which we just downloaded, and click on run. Okay, here we have our USB stick. Select the ISO. Where was it? Right here on the desktop. Okay, you want to go ahead and choose partition scheme GPT. It's very important, and here UEFI. All right. Great. Now the other options leave as is and just click on start. Write in ISO image mode, which is recommended, and click on OK. This will destroy the data on the USB stick. OK. And that will create the disk, the bootable Arch Linux disk. Now if you have a Windows environment, this will be the best option for you, the easiest way to create the Arch Linux disk. You could also create it in Mac OS X in the steps I showed you before, or in Linux in the steps I showed you also before. And basically you're using a similar tool. I'm using their Balena Etcher. One way or the other, you will be able to create a bootable USB drive, and then we are good to go to start the installation. Alright guys, so once the creation of the disks has finished, you will see this whole bar here which is green, and it will say ready. Just click on close and you're good to go. So to eject the disk, right click on it and click on eject, which is really nice. Okay, so now we can remove the disk and start the installation. Okay, so now let's reboot with the USB stick which we created, and depending on the BIOS you have to press F11 to go into the boot options, and you want to scroll down until you see UEFI FAT and then your USB disk. In my case it's SanDisk. Press enter. You will be presented with the Arch Linux installation. Alright, so now it starts to boot from the USB stick. Okay, let's install a bigger font so you can see what I type. Type in set font Sun 12/22. If you got a wired connection, you don't need to set up the Wi-Fi. If you've got a notebook, then you would type in Wi-Fi menu. Okay, anyways, we don't need to install that, so we'll just check our internet configuration. I have config. Alright, now we will try to clear and do a ping on Google. Okay, internet works. I want to go ahead and clear the database first. Right, now we will install an even bigger font. Let's check in the name. We'll use the V32N. Right, so now you can see what I am typing, which is really nice. Let's try to ping the Arch Linux website. That works fine. Let's install the two editors, Vim and Nano. So we need a mirror list with the fastest server. So we want to go ahead and use the program Reflector. Let's refresh the database first, then install Reflector. Okay, and then we run the program Reflector. with the options. To etc. Pac-Man into mirror list. Let's go ahead and set the time and date. Time date CTL, set time, it is 2019 now, month October 24, time is, let's do like 12 and 10 seconds. And again, don't forget, we check the time and date. Time date CTL. Okay, so since we are going to set up a unified extensible firmware interface, which is UEFI, we're going to create 3 partitions: a boot, a swap, and a root partition. So let's see first if we have EFI by typing ls firmware EFI. Yes, we do. Okay, so let's partition the hard drive. I know that my because I have multiple SSDs, that my SSD on which I want to install it is dev SDF drive. So if you know which your drive is, go ahead and install it. But if you want to check it, you just type in fdisk-l pipeline more to stop the page. You get all the SSD's hard disks list. So if we scroll down to F, you will see here that we have already a Linux partition and a Linux swap, which is my old Linux mint, or I already made a backup and I want to delete it. So we want to put it on F. Right, so we know that we want to put it on F. So you can use several programs to check your drive. You can also use like DFH for the space which is available on your drive, or LSBLK, which will give a list of all the partitions on each drive, and BLKID will give the part UUIDs of each drive, which we'll use later. I will show you then how to do that exactly. So we know that it is F, and we're going to use is it F? Yeah, we know that it is drive F, which we want to use, this one here. And yeah, it's 500 gig SSD. I want to install Linux on there. So to start, we create the partition first. So we're gonna erase everything from the SSD, and let's do this. So let's type in gdisk space dev/sdf. Okay, then you want to go ahead and press X an expert command, type Z to wipe GPT table, type Y, And to blank out the master boot record MBR, type yes, Y. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and prepare the partitions. So type cgdisk space /def/sdf. In your case it will be SDA probably, or SDB. Just want to do new partition. Just press enter once. Then on first sector press enter, and on size we want to make an UEFI boot partition, which will be 1024, let's say 1 gig. 1 gig will be more than enough for your UEFI boot. Okay. There is a special code for the UEFI boot drive, which is EF00. Now enter a name. We name this boot. There you go. Now we make the swap partition, go down to free space, all the way down, and then you press enter on new. Now we want this to be like on first sector, you just press enter. The size 8 gigs. It will be more than enough. 8 gigabytes, just like that. And press enter. The hex code for the swap is 8200, and the name, we name it swap. Okay, and the rest of the space will be our root, on which we're going to install all the files. Just press enter. Then first sector, enter. Size and sectors, enter. Hex code, just press enter. And the name, we're gonna call it root. Alright, so we got one boot partition of 1 gig, 8 gig swap, and a root, which is really nice. Okay, now we write it, because we have to save these modifications which we made. Write, type in yes, enter. Okay, then you go to quit. There you are. If we now do lsplk, you will see that F has got 3 partitions. Alright, we're going to go ahead and format the partition. We start with the UEFI boot partition, so type in mkfs.fat FAT32 with SDF1. Now we make the swap. We're going to activate the swap. Make swap, and it is /def SDF2 in our case. I'm gonna enable it. Swap on def SDF2. Now we're gonna format the root, mkfs.ext4 def/sdf, which is the third partition. Just wait a few moments. There you go. Alright, so now it's time to mount the system. You're gonna go ahead as broke. As you can see, it already indicates the swap. Then we're gonna mount the rest. So we're gonna type in mount the system, mount space /def/sdf3/mount. So where the root is. We're going to make a directory which we call mount boot, and this directory going to put it into the UEFI, which is the first partition. So we type in mount def sdf1 in the /mount /boot. Alright, so now if we do again lsblk, we will see our first partition was our UEFI boot, mount boot. The second one is the swap, and the third one is our root where the system is mounted. Alrighties. Could also just type in now ls/mount. Got a boot. Okay, so now we copy our pacman mirror list to a backup. Let's type in copy, etc. pacman list slash etc slash pacman.d slash mirror list dot bak like backup. Going to organize the mirror list. Type in sed I s slash special sign hashtag. I always like to call it hashtag, even if it's the pound sign. I just call it hashtag. Whatever. Server slash and then etc. pacman.d slash mirror list.bak. Enter. Now to install the mirror list, first we have to type in pacman s and then pacman contrib makes part of this package. Yes. So we're going to rank the nearest mirror with the rank mirrors command. So you're going to type in first of all rank mirrors space the first 6 closest mirrors we're going to take, put them on the top, so the fastest one, so our downloads will be faster. This can take a few moments, just be patient. It is normal, the cursor is blinking a while. There it is again. Okay. So now the next step is to set the local of our system. Just type in nano space etc slash local.gen. And here you want to do Ctrl W to search. Type in en_US capitals, then again Ctrl W, enter, Ctrl W, enter. As you can see here, this is the line which we need. Normally it's like this. It will be something like this. So you want to uncomment it to remove the hashtag. If it's already uncommented, then it's okay, just leave as is. And yeah, we can close it by Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. Here it is. Now let's generate the local by typing local gen. Now we need to set the local config file. So we type in echo 1 equals en_US UTF-8 and then into etc local conf. Then we export it. So export en_US UTF-8. Now let's go ahead and set up our time in the zone info. Type in ls usr /share/zone info. And then let's go ahead and set the system local time type. SF space USR slash share zone info location America slash Los Angeles into etc. local time enter. Then set up the clock as well. This is to AC and UTC. New time, date, CTL. Okay. Alright, so the next thing we're gonna do is to install the base system. So just type in pack strap space dash I space slash mounts base and base devel like development. Okay, just press enter and yes, this will install the base system. It will take a few moments, just be patient. So the base system will install all base packages. Right, so the next thing is to generate the fsstop file. Just type in gen fsstop space dash capital U space dash U mount into mount etc. fsstop. Then we type in nano mount etc. fsstop to check if the file is there and if our partitions are there. So we have our root, which is SDF3, we have the boot file, the boot partition, which is SDF1, and we have our SDF2, which is our swap partition. Press Ctrl X, clear. Log into a newly installed system as a root. So what we're going to do is type in arch -ch root space / mount, enter. And we're going to type in pacman and then nano editor, just nano, yes. Now let's give a name to our computer. Type in echo. I like to call my PC headphone jack, so I type in headphone jack into our etc. host name, and then we have to modify the host file nano etc. hosts. Okay, just add this line here 127.0.1.1. Hit the tab key and type in local host dot local domain. Tab again and then the name of your computer. So I just created the name headphone jack, just like that. You may want to name it computer or PC or desktop or notebook, whatever you like to call it. Okay, to save the file, I'm gonna go ahead and do Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. Now let's create our trim. Trim is to weekly discard all the unused blocks to have a faster system. So we type in sudo, let's clear this, sudo systemctl enable fstrim.timer. Enter. As you can see, it's created. Now let's configure the AUR Arch user repositories for packages. So type in sudo nano space / etc / pacman.conf. Press enter. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you will want to add the following lines. Hit enter here. So bracket open, Arch Linux FR, bracket closed, and sig level equals never, and then server equals http://repo.archlinux.fr/arch. Alright, remove the two hashtags in front of multilib. That will enable us to run 32-bit applications. So this one here and this one here. Alright, save and exit by doing Ctrl-O, Enter, Ctrl-X. Alright, so don't forget the / by repo here. Alright, so now let's do a refresh of the server, of the database, by typing sudo pacman sy. Now you can see here we got here multilib and also Arch Linux FR, which is great. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and set up the root password, which is different than your user password. So first, a root password. Retype your password. Okay, we created the password successfully. Now let's create a new user. User add -m-g users, capital G, wheel, storage privileges and power privileges, ISS bin bash. We call it user or Arch user, whatever you want to call it. I call it floppy disk. Alright, and the next thing I'm gonna do is go ahead, let's create a password for the username. So we type in pass wd floppy disk, the password, retype the password. Okay, now we need to add this user to the sudo group. Type in editor nano vsudo. Okay, so now we're going to scroll down. We do just I'm going to scroll down. Do you see wheel all? We're going to uncomment wheel all. This line here, to allow members of the group of the wheel to execute any command. Okay, that's what we want. Now, since we are already here, at the bottom we want to add this line, which is defaults space root pw, and that's to avoid that unwanted visitors log into your system. Okay, so let's do Ctrl-O, Enter, Ctrl-X, clear. Now let's see if the UEFI variables are mounted to install this package first. So we're going to do that by typing sudo pacman s bash completion. Yes. So we're going to type in twice avvar, so mount T, and then avvar file system, and then again avvar file system sys slash firmware slash avvars slash enter. Mount blah 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 avvars already mounted on avvars, so that means that it is there. That's good. Okay, now we're going to install the Linux boot manager by typing following command bootctl install. As you can see at the bottom, successfully initialized system token in AV variable, created AV boot entry Linux boot manager. Alright, so that's good. That looks fantastic. Now to free up some space, I'm gonna go ahead. Could type in this, for example, to free up the space, but this is not really a necessary step. Only if you got error messages that your boot is unable to be created. You can do something like this. This will create the temporary vars. I will not remove, so don't do that. If everything goes fine, don't type this command, then it's just to show you in case of emergency. If you want to free up some space. Now we configure the arch config file, so let's do sudo nano /boot /loader /entries /arch.conf. Enter. Completely empty. We add the following lines. So title space arch Linux. Next line Linux. And Linux. Don't make an error here. Must be Z. And then Linux. Next line init rd /init ram file system. Init ram file system. Linux image. Alright, and then here you would want to add another line, which is the part UUID, but we're gonna automate it. That is, we're gonna put it automatically by running a script. So first we're gonna save this file just by doing Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. Okay, so let's run the script file. Just bear with me 1 second. Typing clear. Okay. There's a special command here to use it for the part UUID to make an add-on in there. So we type in echo options root equals and then capital part UUID equals $, bracket open, there's a round bracket, yeah, bulk ID s and parts UUID O value def, and then the name of your root partition is tf3. It's my root partition, and then bracket closed, round brackets, and then rw, forget this thing here, and twice the arrows to the right, not once but twice. Okay, loader /entries /arch.conf. Right, and let's press enter. Okay, now we double check the file to see if it's there. And as you can see here, we got the all line, which is this one here, and that's our hard drive on the third partition, which is great. Okay, now it's time to press Ctrl O and Enter, Ctrl X to install the Intel drivers. If you got an Intel, you'll need to install the drivers. So type in sudo pacman and Intel ucode, enter, yes. Now then we go into the file, to the archconfig file, and we add the following line. This is the second, this is the first. We'll add we'll add here a third line, which is init rd / intel ucode.image. Alright, and then this one here in the Linux image, and then this line here. Yeah, that's basically it. Now Ctrl O, enter, Ctrl X. Now let's check the internet connection name by typing IP link. The second one is our internet connection, ENP4S0 in my case. So let me see what is going to happen next. I'm just going to install the network manager by typing pacman -s network manager. Yes. And let's enable the network manager by typing so sudo to enable the network manager, systemctl space enable space network manager.service, just like that. We will have 3 lines which say created, which means it's okay now. Alright. Now we will want to go ahead and install the latest kernel. So type in pacman space -s linux space linux firmware. Just press enter and then yes. So take a moment. Okay, let's install some audio packages by typing sudo pacman -s pulse audio ALSA. Yes. Okay, let's install Xorg. And we choose the option with the Mesa integrated GPU, so sudo pacman space xorg space xorg xinit. Just press enter and yes. Alright, let's create an initiation file, and our initiation file will be echo space and then exec start KDE and then @ special sign / dot xinit rc. Okay, let's install the KDE environment now with Plasma Desktop. So I'm going to go ahead and type sudo pacman -s Plasma desktop. This is a minimal installation, and then we're gonna add the applications around it. Just press enter here and then yes. This will take a few moments, just be patient. Alright, once that's done, you can add some more packages like sudo pacman s. So let's add the terminal console, Dolphin file manager, Firefox for internet, and Kate editor. Okay. Let's also install a login manager. Type in sudo pacman sddm. Yes. Okay, and then you're gonna enable the login manager, sudo systemctl enable and sddm.service. Enter. That's created, so that's enabled. Okay, so now let's log in back to the system by typing exit, going back to the standard root, and then unmount the system. This is important. umount space dash capital R slash mount, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a reboot, cd reboot. Alright. Alright, as you can see, it will boot automatically in our STDM which we created. Enter my password here. And there we have our desktop up and running, which is really nice. Got here my Firefox. Dolphin file manager, I got it also. Yeah, got all the files here. Which is really nice. I love it. Alright guys, so just the necessary things are installed here. And then we're gonna build around it the rest. And at this point the minimal install of Arch Linux system can be considered complete. That concludes this video for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Have a wonderful day, stay well, and adios.
Baby, but you know